Tonight, a tale of Twisty court jester to the legendary Yellow Emperor. Now, since our story concerns a fool, it is only fitting that it begins, well, not at the beginning, nor does it end at the end, yet finds ourselves curiously somewhat in the middle, with our hero, Twisty standing before an ancient and forbidding temple high in the mountains of Chin. Now we needn't concern ourselves with his arduous journey there, nor the many perils that befell him upon the way. All we need know was that he was sent there to retrieve this, the Pearl of Wisdom, a mystical artifact granting whomsoever possessed it infinite knowledge and unlimited power. A most dangerous artifact indeed, which is why eons ago the old gods had hid it away far from the reach of man in the very temple that Twisty was standing before. There it lay in the center of an immense chamber which was paneled in camphor wood and was watched over by a fierce red dragon. Now, the only access to this chamber was through an amber-lined corridor, the entrance of which was guarded by yet another dragon, this one black. Now, before the black dragon, there stood a column of markers for the game of Chang Chi, Chinese chess, a diversion to which black dragons had a certain affinity. No one, not even the gods themselves, had ever bested one of the creatures at the pastime, which was a pity, as this was the very task that was required to vanquish the beast. Now before the temple, in a decorative niche, stood an ornate offering bowl. This Twisty filled with his most valued of possessions, the last bit of rice he had reserved for his return journey home. This tribute he offered to the gods of the east, the gods of the west, the gods of the sky, and the gods of the earth. He sought providence and good fortune for the task at hand, and anxiously awaited a reply. None came. Undaunted, he entered the temple, headed down the hall of infinite reflection into the lair of the black dragon, whom he found, well, in a most miserable state, for it had been 1,000 years since anyone had entered the temple, and 1,000 years, even for a dragon, is a terribly long time to go between meals. In its weakened condition, anyone, even Twisty could have easily have vanquished the beast, but instead, he took the rice that the gods had rejected and used it to nurse the black dragon back to health. Touched by this uncommon kindness, the black dragon not only gave Twisty access to the amber-lined corridor, but his stack of chessmen as well. And so, game pieces in hand, Twisty proceeded down the amber corridor into the great camphor hall, where he found the red dragon in an equally miserable state, for he had been sequestered there all alone for 10,000 years, with little else to do but to contemplate his own navel, or lack thereof. He had grown lethargic and depressed. And so Twisty reached into his pocket and extracted a piece of chalk, and with which he drew a large grid onto the temple floor, and into this he placed the game pieces, and for a delightful afternoon he engaged the black dragon in the game of chess. Pleased at this unexpected turn of events, the red dragon too gave Twisty a gift. And this is why, when the gods returned, they found the black dragon stuffed with rice, the red dragon playing chess, and the Pearl of Wisdom in the hands of Twisty court jester to the legendary Yellow Emperor.